Tim Parker here, FM99's Lunatic Luau. I'm with Michael from the band Volbeat. How you doing today?
Fine, thank you.
Good to have you here. I don't know if you're aware of this. Last year you guys played this very same show, the Lunatic Luau, and it was a general consensus that Volbeat stole the show last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you guys were the biggest hit of all the bands last year.
Wow. Okay.
In fact, the Monday after the show, I wrote to your record label and pretty much said, we got to have Volbeat back next year. So thank you very much for coming to doing the show and again.
Thank you.
Reading a little history about the band, you actually started out doing death metal.
Yeah.
And found that, what, too confining, or? I
love death metal. As you can see, jungle rot. You know, huge fan of death metal, old school death metal from the 90s.
Yeah.
Or late 80s. But you know, it's when it comes to songwriting, you know, I was just going in another direction. You know, I have to follow my heart. You know, and what came out of it was a mixture, a lot of different styles, as metal, rock and roll, country, rockabilly, punk, a lot of different styles combined together. That became the Volbeat style.
And that's one of the most interesting things of the set last year, and I hope it's in the set this year, the Johnny Cash medley. Where did the Johnny Cash thing come from? Where did you remember hearing Johnny Cash and being heavily influenced by him?
From my childhood.
Okay.
You know, my father was listening to it. You know, they were basically listening to a lot of music from the 50s. So Johnny Cash was one of them. And you know, I just when I moved out of the house, you know, I just missed those records. So I started buying them, and you know, it became my influence later in Volbeat.
All right. You know, I tell you, if they ever do, because they're into making movie remakes, you know, like there's another Godzilla coming out in just a little bit.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
If they ever do the old spaghetti westerns, like Good, Bad, and the Ugly, they got to have you guys do the soundtrack.
I would love to.
Because
I'm ready.
Listening to the new album, there are elements on there I could see being perfect for like an old Clint Eastwood, you know, type spaghetti western.
Yeah, somehow. Really cool. Well, I'll be ready.
All right. And now, just a little bit over a year ago, you guys added a guitarist.
Yes.
The guy from Anthrax, Rob from Anthrax.
Yes.
That came about from just some studio work he was doing with you, or?
Yeah, you know, we hired him as a second producer for the album, and you know, the cooperation in the studio went out so good that we actually offered him the job in Volbeat, and the day after he was a member.
Yeah, worked out great for you guys.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, just a little over a year ago, and you can tell having that extra producer on the album, especially the new album, is just.
Yeah, you know, as we tried another studio, and we also wanted Jacob Hansen, our producer, you know, to step out of his comfortable zone just as the band, and it worked out fine, you know, with Rob too. You know, very proud of the whole process.
All right, Michael, thank you very much for coming today.
You're welcome.
Thanks for playing our Lunatic Luau. I'm going to enjoy the show.
Thank you.